Yeah,
Maybe.
Someday.
All right.
Hopefully.
It says we're live.
I don't.
Can I
That
get
thumbnail.
I'm waiting for the delay so I can mute the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm waiting on my delay to quit on my phone. Come on.
No, I didn't bring nothing else. I just have the
Now I can
computer.
mute
That's all I
it. There.
got. I don't
Now
know
my
where my
YouTube
phone
is
is.
muted.
There we go.
I don't even mute. I go into you. I start this, then I open up
I think
YouTube.
my volume's on.
I'll pop out the chat and I'll just close the browser.
Yeah. What the hell's
You'll
going
pop
on?
out what before you close
You're
the
on.
browser?
The chat.
We're
Yeah, my
live.
phone's doing something weird.
I was like, make sure you close the browser first before you pop anything out.
Yeah. Shut your
Right.
camera off.
Shut the camera off. Mute that stuff.
There we go. Yeah, I was waiting for my phone to quit acting up. Get my volume off. Thought I had that set already, but
There it is.
got nobody in the chat yet as far as I can see. What the hell is that symbol? There's like a scissor symbol on top of the live chat now.
Maybe it's a
That's weird. I can cut out clips.
Hey,
So like-
G's in there.
Mr. G, what's up?
There he is. Yeah.
Speaking of Mr. G, t-shirt forms. Toby don't even know this, and he's pretty high up in the feeding chain. We will have forms on the website or on the Facebook page here soon to sign up to get your goodie bag put together. Your
Awesome.
t-shirt size and your VAM t-shirt.
Oh, all right. Yeah, if you have a link to that anytime soon, post it. I'll share it.
Well, here, I'll message it to you here in a second so you can post it in the chat a couple times.
Yeah. And put it on the banner. See comments. Yes. Just Mr. G so far. And us.
Still got 2 minutes though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? It's supposed to be crappy out this weekend. We had like 2 seconds of rain yesterday and then nothing.
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
day.
same.
It's poured here.
Yeah. We were supposed to have thunderstorms. We never had anything. It just sprinkled a couple times. We were out driving around yesterday. So yeah, just Mr. G right now.
There you go, Chris. I just put it in the private link
All right.
in the private comments.
Here, let me look at the privates.
What?
Derek, he called you.
Hey, Jason, did you get my email?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Actually, I've already shared it.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Copy.
Sean of
All right, there.
and Pigs has 15 also.
There's the link for the page.
Ozark.
Here, Ozarks.
Oh crap. We're going downhill now.
Yeah, a couple more minutes. We'll start the questions, I guess, regardless of who's here.
Oh crap,
some
I don't have the
people say-
questions.
Yeah.
I never even read them.
CDL asks them anyhow. So
Yeah. I
I,
figured
mean,
I
I have looked at them. And
Yeah.
I've already formulated ideas in my head, but
Yeah. There you go. My Done Life, Anonymous
Oh my God,
Biker,
it's just started.
Ozarks.
My
AB
done
just
life.
showed-
He's supposed to be riding. What's he? Is he on his phone? Why he's riding? What?
Yeah.
Who's this?
My done
Too
life.
nice,
Travis.
no.
He was headed down to
Oh.
Chillicothe, and because he's like, hey, I'll stop by and grab you if you want to go.
I'm going to go down and chill and have a coffee later, too.
Yeah.
Is that what they call
Coffee.
those in Erie, Pennsylvania?
Something.
Coffee and chill.
Yeah. I guess they call it something different everywhere else.
Yeah.
That's,
Go home, play with
what
my Hulu.
in Kentucky, they call it was it brown steamy? Hot brown?
Oh, Lord.
That's actually
Isn't it?
hot brown.
Yeah. And Ohio, they call it a Cleveland steamer.
That's right.
Kentucky, they call it Kentucky hot brown.
That's what it is. Kentucky hot brown.
Yeah.
I was Biker got in there. What? Hitting
Hey,
all the
we're
big
ready
names
for-
at the beginning.
Yeah, Anonymous wasn't here last month.
Everybody in here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I stopped the payment on his fan check since he wasn't here last time.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Bird plumber. Plumper.
I don't see anybody else new popping in. So, all right, everybody, welcome to the channel. Welcome to our season finale. Season 2 will be over after today. It's too nice out to be live streaming. Too many projects to do. So I think usually May is a good time to end it anyway. So, like last year, we were getting ready for VAM in June. This year, it's in July. So, be ending it. Have a couple months till June or July. Yeah, VAM. Couple months to June. Yeah, I'm not even drinking yet.
Something basically wrong with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, it says there's 6 people. I guess people are watching. No, now it says 8 on the screen. So, all right. I'm just going to go ahead and start with the questions, and then we'll have the usual riff-raff shit
5 of
at
them
the
are
end,
here.
I guess. But, all right. I guess we'll start with, has anyone been part of an MC or considered being part of an MC? Motorcycle Club, for those of you that don't know.
Wow, I think this is the very first time I've ever been the first respondent.
Yeah.
I have
First
not.
victim.
I have not. And I would consider it from a standpoint of I miss the camaraderie and all of that from like being in the military and whatnot. But I'm an all or nothing type of guy. And I don't know that I could give everything that would be required to an MC, to really be a good brother. With everything that's going on in my life, I mean, obviously you guys know about my son, he's on the spectrum. I'm going back to school starting tomorrow, all that good stuff. Maybe a riding club if we had one here. We don't have, I mean, I know we have a couple of MCs here in Rochester. I've seen a couple patches here and there, but I've never seen anybody show up to any events that I've been to locally, which there really aren't much. It's usually at the dealerships. But yeah, I would certainly consider it. But maybe, it would probably be more an RC. I definitely would consider an MC, but it'd have to be the right situation.
Yeah. All right, Sinister, your question.
No. Possibly consider it. It depends on what type of club it is, kind of what their objective is, because they're all different, really.
Yeah.
But it depends, and it depends on the commitment, because I got enough commitments with my job, and then trying
Says
to do
the guy with 6,000 miles a year.
that's my commitment. I'm like, see you guys later. I've been gone for like 6,000 miles. Can't help you. You got to pick and choose. That's
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like I think sometimes I have problems with rules that invade the things that I want to do, especially if it's family related. So it would depend. It would depend. I can't say that I wouldn't, but I'd be open-minded to it, I should say.
Yeah. Okay, Toby, your question.
An MC? I don't know. I probably not. I'll just say the first, first thing out of my mind is probably not. I wouldn't, if consider joining some organizations, especially vet related. Like I've considered joining CVMA, but it comes back to what Randy just said as far as timing and priorities and all that. I mean, I don't want to take away, I've been overloaded before. I think we all have been at some point in life, and you just got to balance what the priorities are, what's important. The rules and all that stuff. We just joined our Derby City local hog chapter, and hell, we haven't even been to a meeting yet because of life events. So we've been on one ride with them. But yeah, same concept. Priority comes first. I don't think I'd do an MC, but organizations, again, it depends upon like what Randy said, the missions. If it's, I have no problem doing rides that raise funds and stuff for good causes, things like that. I'm actually working a video, and we've all heard the videos before. The politics stuff, I don't mess with that crap. If I'm joining one, I can tell you this, even if I join, I don't care what organization I was to join, I don't let that crap bother me. I just don't get involved with it. It's like, you guys, if you got politics or whatever, you keep that to yourself. Keep that crap to yourself. I'm here for the organization, the image of the organization I'm representing. So,
yeah. Hey, Mr. McStash, or Mr. Oh, you didn't know.
I thought that was Doyle's line.
No, Doyle does not know. Plain and simple, Doyle does not know.
Don't do that. Let him take a sip.
Doyle has no clue. All right, Georgia boy can't even talk. When growing up in this area, the south end of Columbus had a clubhouse. The painted colors outside was red and black. If you know what that is, then you know what it is. If you don't, then you don't. They still have a very big presence in the area, but there are no colors flown. I was raised in the era of knowing that is a club, an MC. Everything else is a wannabe. So knowing that, and the fact that you cannot ride single patched, I can't ride with my vest on if I ain't got at least one other with me. All the rules of that side of it, I was exposed to very young. I have a rule problem. You're not going to allow me to earn a patch and then tell me when I can and cannot wear it. It's mine. I'm proud of it. I almost show it off when I want to show it off, and you can go get bumped. That, and at the time, that group was Club First. I do not agree with that 100%. Now, the problem with not Logan, Ohio, south of Columbus. The problem with other clubs now, the MC clubs now, that half of them want to be 1%ers, and they're patch police, and they're they're trying to be something they're not. And then you get into the clubs like the CVMA or the American Veterans. There's some good clubs doing some good things, but you know what? I fly my own flags. I will help you if you're doing something good. And if you're not doing something good, then you know what? I'll be riding in the rain, and you can sit at home and be as tough a biker as you want to be. That's pretty much how I look at it. So,
yeah. Just call ourselves, like AB says, the Mosaic Riders.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been offered a few times to patch in, but no, I got no interest in it. I'm family first is my big thing, and in Ohio, if you have more than three or more people together in matching outfits, it is considered a gang by the police. So every time I see 3 cops stand together, I said, "Did you guys see that gang hanging around?" They're like, "No." I said, "Well, the definition is 3 people in light uniforms hanging out. You guys need to rest yourselves or split up and walk away." So
I think that should be a new club, actually.
Yeah.
The exit only MCers.
Matching outfits, gimp outfits, AB.
But yeah, you bring up a good point there, Jason, with the whole when you can wear patches, when you can't, what they represent, and all this, and the family first thing. I don't know. People are a club first thing. I mean, if there are people that are like that, I get that. But then, I mean, typically, if you're, everybody, you kind of attract what you are. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I've been around people, and I've seen people that are in organizations, not necessarily MCs, but organizations that are family first. Mm-hmm. It's like they put club first, but they also know, hey, if Mama calls and says, hey,
Oh yeah.
there's a problem, you need to go.
Yeah.
It's time to
Yeah,
go.
they're not bad. The
Yeah,
only
it's
ones
great
I
thought
label as
process.
bad are the wannabe one percenters. And if you ask them, well, they're not wannabes; they actually are. It's just it's. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hate patch police, and I hate people who want to be something they're not. Just because I got a gold wing and I wear
Yeah.
all Harley stuff, I'm a biker. Yeah, and I
Mm.
mean that's stretching. That's supposed to be funny, but yeah,
Yeah.
I hate
No,
somebody being something they're not.
it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
There it is, IB, right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump on my Indian with my HD shirt and my gold wing helmet.
There you
Yep.
go. That sums it up.
Well, that's like me. I mean, two videos ago, I went out for a ride and I passed by four bikes, three of which were Harleys. I waved to all. Of course, I'm on a Navy. I'm also wearing, because it was pretty cold that day, so I'm wearing my leather Harley jacket because I don't have another, non-denominational motorcycle leather jacket.
He said non-denominational. I love
Pretty
it.
much.
So,
You didn't have your Christian leathers on?
So, I waved to all of them, as I always do. I mean, I waved to everybody, and not one of them. But it was just so funny because that last turn, there were two gentlemen, both, I think one was on a street glide, one was on a road glide. Gave him the sign, and I said something at the end of the video. I'm like, it's so funny. I said, me sitting here on a Honda Navy, wearing a Harley leather jacket, giving the biker wave to two guys on baggers, and nothing, no comment. So,
Were you on a two-way road or highway, or what were you on?
Two-way road. The street actually ends up turning into eventually. This was in a residential area. It was probably like 3 blocks from my house. If you go in the opposite direction I was going, eventually this turns into the 4-lane, 45-mile-per-hour road that I actually had my accident on.
You know what they say, a trip and triker, snitches get what?
Yeah,
I put it in the chat. I forgot to mention it earlier. The one place I would seriously consider looking into is if we have I think we have a BACA chapter here.
Chewbacca?
Bikers against child abuse. Yeah, I think we have one. I don't know how active they are. Obviously, that's going to have to be put on back burner till I get a real bike again.
Yeah.
But that's something I definitely would consider. That. And as you said, Toby,
Yeah.
any military themed thing.
See,
Yeah.
Chris, we keep cutting into your time. I apologize.
Go ahead.
Conversation. Derek brings up another great point. My dad was kind of that way as well. I've got 4 or 5 vests of his because he was an American Legion rider. He was a Sons of Liberty rider when it was an organization. He was a Hog chapter member. I mean, he had multiple vests, and he kept patches specifically to the rides he went on with those groups. But I mean, there's people out there that would frown on that. You be loyal to one group and one group only. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes, like you say, Derek. I mean, BACA's great, CVMA is great. I mean, American Legion riders. I don't know. There's a bunch out there, a few, and it's to me. I'm like, I don't think it. I don't know. Maybe that's where the problem of loyalty, if you will, would come into play with them. The viewpoint of them. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, because you do have your basically like your firefighter groups, your police groups, all your military groups, and even that's got to be hard to even follow some of those.
Right.
Well,
That's
like the
the point of it.
Punishers. Punishers is a law enforcement group.
Yeah.
But the chapter up here by me that I have done a lot of things with, 2 police officers in the chapter, and it's huge. I mean, they do a lot of things, but there's 2 cops in there. So, is it really a law enforcement club, or is it just law enforcement backing club? So I don't know. And to me, that's Toby. You was in special special forces at one point. You either are or you aren't. You know, if you're going to be a law enforcement club, I'm not saying you can't have non-law enforcement members, but you got 2 in a club of 60.
Yeah.
You know, is it wrong? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't back your blue, but you know, I mean, you can't call yourself airborne if you've jumped 4 times and graduated college.
Right. Yeah, and I wasn't.
Sorry,
to be clear, because I'm a very. Jace, you bring up a great point. Is I'm huge on that, and maybe it does come a little bit from the military, but I've always been one of those kind of people. Like, don't front and try to represent what you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we learn it in the old days. Be no do, right? You don't send your troops out to something that you're not willing to do or you haven't done in the past in your life. So in your career, so I'm not special forces myself. I was in 2 different special forces units over 12 years. So in the entire time so over half my career was in special operations supporting them. But again, I get exactly what you're saying. When I was at Bragg and Campbell was when they stood up the Special Forces Brotherhood MC, and they've got very strict criteria on it. And that being one of them is you have to be a long tab earner. You have to have earned a long tab. Otherwise, you're not getting into that group.
Yeah, that's what I've always been one that has a hard time following the rules. I mean, as far as joining an MC and having to follow this rule and that rule, and I'm like, I want to ride. I don't want to have to ride because you're going on a ride or you're going somewhere. The group's going here. I've heard stories from some people that I've talked to. I won't name their names because they were actually recruited by the big club, one of the big clubs, national. And he told us some of the stories where he never actually made it completely into the club, but they would basically call him at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you need to get your ass over here now.
No.
And he would jump out of bed in the middle of the night, ride an hour, 2 hours in the dark, show up at his brother's house or whatever, and he'd be like, all right, that's all. We just wanted to see if you do it or not.
Just trying to patch in.
That's trying to patch in. That's a prospect life. Yeah. If you want to go for it. Not everybody wants to do that crap. I had a buddy of mine who was with another MC who was patched in with another MC or a couple of them, and that was his earlier before military life. That was one of his things he did, and he used to talk about. He used to have what he called a prospect kit.
Yeah,
I mean, anything that was ever needed by a club member, you better have it on the spot. And so that's one of the things that he didn't have a problem with that lifestyle. As he got older, he was finally, him and Mama finally said, "We're done. We're riding on our own now. We're doing this and that and the other." But it's like you said, Jace, it's to each their own. If you like that lifestyle, go for it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'm not. That's not. I already got called in at 4 o'clock in the morning for alerts and crap like that. Enough as it was. I ain't doing it no more.
I could see where the benefit of that would be when you did come out of the military. In some instance, you're used to the strict regiment. You're used to, certain rules, following a command. They
want that. They still like that structure.
Yeah, they like the structure. They don't know how to function. I guess you don't know how to function in the real world after you've been out there. And that's kind of tangenting, but.
I mean, that's where it all came from. World War II, when they came back, that's where they all formed their clubs from, was because they missed that organizational structure. And there also weren't the transitional programs that there are today as far as helping a person leave that type of lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think to go back to normal civilian life. They said, okay, thanks for shooting people and watching your brother die next to you. Now go on back with your normal life. And it didn't work. It's not that simple mentally. Or physically. Right. So
a lot of it was undiagnosed PTSD. Before we knew what PTSD was.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a different topic entirely. But
because your brother says, or somebody says, I'm going to do this. It's done. You don't even think about it anymore. Well, that's not how it is in the real world. So
people actually don't follow up on what they say sometimes.
And that's a huge brain screw. But anyhow.
Yeah.
Like Toby said, it's a different story.
CDL, your question. Well, we've been taking up too much of your time.
That's all right. Hey, we got all night. If we got to sit out here all night and do this, I don't care. It's the season finale. We got the good banner going. We got the comments. Hey, nobody started getting naked yet, and nobody's drunk falling over, so we can keep going all night. But
yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, everybody in the chat, make sure you hit that like button. Sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm old. I forget. If I don't say it when it comes into my head, it's gone.
Yeah.
Here, let me mute everybody now. But yeah, I mean, pretty much.
He ain't spoken in a while.
Everybody wait.
What's that, Toby?
I said that he mute Randy too because Randy hasn't spoken in a while.
Hey, I'm listening.
He answered the question yesterday. Come on.
Right?
I just say that basically what everybody else has been saying. I don't like following that many rules when it comes to living motorcycle life. You know what I mean? Like I love to ride with other people, but you're not going to tell me when and where. You know what I mean? We want to be able to agree on it. If there's a group ride, let's go. I've been part of an unorganized riding club, I guess you could say. We had T-shirts and that's about as far as it was. It was just, okay, we're going to meet up here. You want to go ride? Show up that day. If not, or whatever. That's about. I don't want the whole treasurer, president, vice president, Kamala, bullshit. FJD. Yeah. You want to go ride, let's ride. If you're done with the ride and everybody else is still riding, go home. See ya. We'll see you the next time. If I got to do something with my wife or my daughter that day and you're all riding, I'm going to do stuff with my family. I don't like that. I say I'd like to spend time doing stuff with my family. I'd love to ride a lot more, but they're not involved with the riding lifestyle. So I guess my point is I don't want to be part of too organized of a group, I would say. But all right, we'll go to the next question. Kind of leads into what I said anyway. If you ride in a group, do you prefer to ride with connected comms or to ride without connecting?
Super quick, real quick. First, Jay Sutliff, who you all know, he's dealing with some shit at home right now today, so he unfortunately is not able to be here. I just want to say hello to everybody. I'm kind of two minds on this. My main idea is that I like the solitude of riding. I mean, yes, I love riding with other people. I had a blast when we went down to Van CDL. With Matt, Moto and Minis. The ride down and back was awesome. I definitely like going on rides with Jay Sutliff when we used to be able to ride before my accident. But I kind of like the solitude of it. I mean, I typically play music most of the time anyhow. So that being said, I guess as with everything, it depends on the trip, depends on the situation. If it was a situation somewhere where I was completely unfamiliar riding in, and it was some hairy, S turns or hairpin curves or something like that, maybe it might not be a bad idea to have the more experience right up front. Say, hey, we got some gnarly shit coming up next couple of turns. But other than that, I actually prefer that. I mean, now with Kristen starting to learn how to ride, I think eventually when we get riding together, we'll probably share comms. But that's my wife. That's my wife. So that's a little bit of a different story. But for the most part, I same thing with the whole MC thing. I ride to relax. It's one of my getaways. And when you start piling layers of rules and other things on it, it kind of takes the fun away from it. So I would be more apt to say no, but I'm not against it. I guess again, it depends on the ride, and more importantly, it probably depends on the company. I mean, I would love to be on comms with any one of you guys for a long ride, but again, I prefer not to.
McStash down there shaking his head at what you just. He's like, "Oh hell no!" I'm not.
What? Oh no, it was something else. That was.
This is not. I'm just. Hey,
I said I wouldn't. I wouldn't mind to. I didn't say we had to do it.
No, I'm just playing. I was gonna say it's gonna turn into an OnlyFans Bluetooth Senna conversation.
All right, Sinister, your question.
I don't even have comms unit, so I've never been in a group ride where I had the opportunity to experience it. So I do like riding in group rides. I had a couple group rides while I was on vacation last year. Well, I guess I could say the poker run was kind of like a group ride. I had 2 other bikes with me, but no, I mean, I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to say I won't do it. I just never have experience, never had a reason to buy a comms unit, but I would probably consider it. At least you know what's going on. If someone needs to stop or take a leak or needs a beer or something, you know, I mean, it'd be nice to have because, you know, you don't know what somebody's doing if you don't have some kind of communication.
Mm-hmm.
But no, as far as group riding, I do enjoy doing it because it's an opportunity to meet new people. And, you know, obviously there's always going to be your 1 or 2 you hope you don't run into with group riding that is a little dangerous than you want. But, you know, for the most part, it's been great, and I enjoy meeting people, and but definitely would like to, if I had the opportunity, like I said, I would definitely do a comms unit. It does make communication better, and that's always a plus. It's always a good thing. So,
Yeah. All right, Toby, your question.
So I've had a couple different experiences. One is with just my wife. I'd be on her bike, and we both have Sena Bluetooth 20S Evos on ours. And when we get in heavy traffic and stuff like that, yeah, the Senas are lifesavers because that way we make sure we're on the same page, or you know, she's that kind of thing. But as soon as we get into some place where we're smooth and it's nice, clean, and whatever good roads, she's like, "Go away!" She kicks me off, and she's back to jamming out on her music. Group rides, I've had a few. I've been on a couple of them. Like the largest one I've had with all of us together was probably on the World Record Poker Run. Kylie and I were meshed up at one point a couple times with Sunny, Angie, and Amy and Des Badger. So you're talking 5 or 6 people there.
Yeah.
And and it all depends upon what your comfort levels are, right? Your overwhelming or reception levels, all that kind of stuff. Because you just have to be prepared when you have a lot of people in a comm system. I think the Senas can do. Somebody was telling me we were talking about that on a previous workshop in the Facebook group that think the Senas or whichever, some of them you can mesh them all up to 24 people or whatever onto one. That's not a bad thing, like Randy said, for communication with people, for like staying in touch if you're in a group ride. But if you're doing it for, you know, if you start having a casual conversation, that crap can get real overwhelming real quick, and it can, you know, because it's kind of like this, where somebody's words can overpower somebody else's, and you're having to do a lot of stopping and asking somebody to repeat something or whatever. So the other option, I think, and especially in a group ride, like Derek was just saying, was yes, the lead person could have a comm system, and then you'd like tail gunner to have a comm system as well, just to make sure we're not losing anybody, or if the pack is getting too far apart, depending upon how big the group is. So there's variable stuff, in my opinion. I've ridden in, like I said, in a couple different sizes with that. That's really, I have no problem riding with them. I like them. I think they help with communication. But do you need them? Not necessarily.
No.
all right.
Hey, Mr. McStash.
My thought, my say, the most I've done at one time is 4 people on the same channel. But I'll tell, just like I told in my video, people say, "What do you think of your Senna? What do you think of your Senna?" I love it. But when you turn it on, you can't turn it off. I mean, you can, but once it's people, it's 4 people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it's your wife back there, it's your wife back there. She can talk to you. She can talk to you. There's no, all right. The only drawback I have at work, we use the Pack Talk, which is an open mesh. So when I get up next to the guy or in range of the guy that has the other Pack Talk, we're communicating. I don't want to be sitting at a stoplight when Jimmy comes up to the other stoplight revving his Harley because it won't stay running at the stoplight and then be meshed with him. I don't know if there's a private thing because I haven't looked that far into it. It's for work. I turn it on, I turn it off. I don't, my Cena, I know inside and out, upside down, but that one's not mine. If I screw up my stuff, whatever. But no, the problem is once somebody's there, they're there. Same as like here where we're all talking, If Randy won't shut up, you got to deal with it. I mean, it's the way it is. You're on there.
Yeah.
So that's the drawback to the comms. The the good part is the communication. But if I'm going to ride with more than 3 to 4 people, we stop beforehand. We make sure, okay, if you point at your gas tank, this is what it means. If you point at your head, this is what it means. Da 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 da. We make sure that we know what's going on, what speed we're going to travel,
There you go.
distances, all that kind of stuff before we start, so that everybody's on the same page. Just because.
Yep.
And because I refuse to group ride otherwise. Plus, we also have a prayer before we take off, just cause. But that's how I do group rides, so that everybody is on the same page, and you don't necessarily need to send us. I mean, come on, guys.
You said prayer, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I heard Peter. Sorry.
No, we have a before we take off, because I do ride. I'm close enough to ride with Road Glide Andy. All right. You end up in some places doing that.
I've been on a group ride where somebody just disappeared, and you're like, and so it stops everything because you don't want to like run off and leave them, and then you just needed gas, or their wife got stung by a bee or something weird, It's just, that I would say that would be great to have during those situations. But
yeah, but then again, if you're set up right, your lead guy and your tail guy are good at communications. Mm-hmm. Your tail bike is supposed to be the fastest bike, so he can come up and catch the front and say. But then again, that's like I said, that's semi-organized group rides or people who's done a lot of group rides, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, the only time I've ever used comms with anybody was out in Sturgis with Meatball and Bearded Bobber. I've had my Cardo for a couple years, and just nobody around here that I know really has Cardo or has Bluetooth. So most of what's nice about it is I connect to my GPS, my maps, and I can have my music playing on the phone. I can have my GPS telling everything. That way I don't have to keep looking down at the GPS. It tells me, where I'm going. I would prefer in a big group to have some sort of comms. I've been in so many situations where somebody will make a stop and turn at the last minute and not tell us, oh shit, GPS just told us to do something else. Like I've had where people have like skidded past people before. I've had, my buddy's ridden with his brother-in-law in the past, and his brother-in-law will just stop at random and he'll look around and go, where the fuck did he go? He stopped on the side of the road, started making a phone call. Like he'd look behind him and he's back there making a phone call. He's like, why did he just stop and start talking on his phone?
That's the kind of person you don't want to ride with.
Yeah, that's like, if you're going to stop and talk on your phone, I'm leaving you behind. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Emergency, I understand.
Yeah.
But I've been in a group ride where I think it was about 18. That's the most I've ever done. But they handed out a map.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where we're going. Take a look at it real quick. We can talk about it. And I didn't know the area. I was just in between Arkansas and Missouri. And the Badgers were on it, and a bunch of us. And that was the most I've ever been. But I knew some of the places we were going to. So it wasn't a big deal, but I didn't know all of them. But
yeah, that group I used to ride with, I didn't have comms with any of them, but there was a lot of older, more experienced riders that have been doing it for years. So they always had the more, one guy leading, one in the back. And before we started, like you said, we do a prayer or something ahead of time and just, this is a map. If you want a copy of it, this is where we plan on stopping and
debriefing. Yeah.
Debriefing afterwards.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead, Darby.
Yeah, real quick. All things considered, me being on the bike that I was on, I got comms unit because I wanted to be able to have music, GPS into my headset, and if I need to call Kristen or Kristen need to call me. Like Randy said, he's never had comms. If I had a road glide or a street glide with built-in speakers and all that, I probably wouldn't have comms unless I was riding with Kristen. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, there's another that Randy brought up another good point there, and I think you did too, Chris. Is that's one thing that comms actually does well with, and that's if you're in a group of more than just two people, three people, the comms can help when it comes to communication as far as hey, somebody just pulled off, take a damn picture or something like that. I mean, because bikers we do that. It's spontaneous. It's the whole damn point we're riding bikes. So I mean, I'm not saying they should do that. I'm saying if a person wants to, that's where comms might come into play and be helpful to say, hey, I'm going to pull off right here. I'll catch up with you guys. Right? It's something like that. It's just a food for thought.
Yeah. Now, for those of you that have like the Harleys with the fairings and stuff, how does that work with your music? Does your comm go through the fairing and come back? Like, does it dim down the sound or anything like that? Or
I don't think so.
No.
You have.
I just want. I just know, like with the like the new vehicles my wife and I bought, they have all that Google Play and Android shit in there now, where it turns the music down while you're talking and back and forth. I didn't know if they had that in the newer.
Oh, yes. Well, I don't know about going through the fairing. I have the Cena Bluetooth set up on my phone. I turn my music on my phone. I got my GPS on my phone. If me and the wife talk, yes, it will dim the music so we can talk, and then it brings the music up right after, just like Google Play, just like Android, anything like that. So it does. It does.
Yeah.
And
I've never really been in that situation where I've had like music playing and somebody called me when I've been using my car though. So
it's the same as on your car. It dims down. You do your phone call.
Okay.
And Toby, when your wife's riding, if you hold this is only Cena, so I don't know about your rest, but if you hold, I think it's like 6 seconds, it'll say music sharing. And then you'll share your music with her, and she won't have her own music. Just to have some fun.
Thank you. Not going to get divorced.
I'm here for you, brother.
But you bring up a good point. Now this goes to some of the things that are in the chat. So I will tell you this: for my bike, I have my Senna running through it's Bluetooth to the Senna to the phone. It's also Bluetooth to my bike. So if I want to, I can listen to music on my bike. I also you can go in the settings and turn off. I typically do. I'll turn off the call piece. That's
what I do.
Piece on the bike, so that it goes into the Senate, because one will override the other if you don't set that up right. One gentleman, I think it was Tetronius Riders. I'll tell you this: it's not the comms piece is really good for communicating with other riders. It is good also if you want to hear your GPS your phone talking to you for GPS in your helmet. Personally, I actually turned the talking off, because when I'm riding, I'm a person, that's from the military piece. I look at the map piece and I say, okay, I got streets coming up. I use landmarks and all that from the map, from the GPS, to know when my next turn is, where it's telling me to go. So every time I've listened, it varies. When you listen to a GPS or whatever telling you, in a quarter mile, take this right turn, it ain't always 100% on point with what it's telling you to do. Sometimes it's delayed, or construction might have changed a road or something like that. So I look at the thing itself. But having said that, yes, that just the voice sometimes does help. So food for thought.
Yeah, and that's why I run everything from my phone to my Cena. My bike is not incorporated in my phone. Does not even Bluetooth to my bike. Because we didn't buy the Harley Cena, so the Cena won't mesh unless I buy the add-on or whatever. But no, the everything is phone to my headphone. Matter of fact, on Ultra Classy, I turn the radio on when I got it back to for some reason, and I don't think the radio even works. I just never used it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would also depend on your setup because, like Toby said, I know there is some mesh problems between Harley and Apple and Cena, and so you got all those. It's like anything else. You get a GoPro, and there's a learning curve.
Yeah.
How do you set it? Do you want it rigid? Do you want it loose? It's just a learning curve.
Wait, you talking about GoPros or you talking about toys?
Yep.
You said rigid or loose. That's something totally different.
Well, to be honest, I've had better luck with a loose mount on a GoPro than I have a rigid mount. So, if you don't, but it depends. Do you like to slap the sides, or do you?
Derek, he's asking you, not me. But no, that's a good point. I mean, you got the I will Bluetooth my phone to my bike just for the music, and Goofy Bastard says it also. The set of comms I use for talking between bikes, I will put the music in my ears mostly. There are times where I also just want, especially if I'm doing half helmet, which I haven't done in a while, but half helmets, I will let the music go from the bike speakers. And it's a great sound just to hear. Sometimes you're just riding, you just want to hear the music all over the place. That's me. But that's, it varies. It gives you options is the bottom line.
All right, I guess we're going to question 3 now. Let me see. Do you think there's enough of a market or interest for small displacement and or electric motorcycles to get more people to ride motorcycle?
I think so. It's I think, like, for example, obviously we own a Navy now. I think those are great around town bikes. As I said in my initial impressions, my one video, that I think as long as you temper your expectations. Granted, I think I need to mess with the choke a little bit because on that 45 mile per hour road. The bike hit like 30 miles per hour. I mean, it was at 40, and then as I was hitting the incline, it went slower and slower. So I think I have to fiddle with the choke. I've never owned a non-EFI bike before, so I think I just have to open the choke all the way once I get the bike started. But it's a double-edged sword. Ultimately, I think for any motorsport type thing, whether it be motorcycles, cars, drag racers or autocross or anything like that, everything's going electric eventually. The governments across the world are eventually going to make it happen. Whatever. So it's just a matter of time. My thing is, I want to see it done right. I mean, like right now, if when Harley came out with the Livewire, if they came out with that bike at half the price or twice the range, I was all in. The problem is I don't want a vehicle that I can only ride for a couple hundred miles at best, and then I got to spend like half the freaking day charging it, or even like 2 hours charging it, let's say. I mean, if I can charge it in the amount of time it's going to take me to cram a burger down my throat, at a restaurant on a road trip, great. But if I gotta, I think the other thing is I think it's going to happen from a standpoint of a lot of people. We've talked about this in our live stream chat. A lot of people, especially the younger generation, they don't have the appreciation for something made in America anymore. We're not going to get into, everything in this world these days has parts coming from all over, but we'll call it even assembled in America. People don't, the younger generations don't have that respect and affinity like they used to. And they don't have brand loyalty. I myself living in New York State, which is a very liberal, progressive state, I see people all the time saying, oh, these companies, blah, 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 bad, evil, blah, blah, blah. But then, they're the first to jump on Amazon to save $2 rather than going and helping out the mom and pop store down the street. You know, I always say the job you save one day might be your own. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. We buy stuff from Amazon all the time, and you know, if I'm trying to save money and it's a big enough gap, yeah, I will order from Amazon. But I'm gonna always try and buy local first. But I think that just unfortunately, Chinese and other companies are just getting to the point where they're copying bikes. You know, I mean, especially since there's not a whole lot of regulatory things in the way of, you know, like here, you know, if I go in my backyard and I make a knockoff Harley, they're going to send their lawyers with a cease and desist in, you know, 35 seconds. Whereas in China, they can't do jack shit about it. And yes, Chinese products typically don't have the same quality. They're getting better and better, and they're also doing it a lot cheaper. That's why, like, you know, as much as I'm excited about the Nightster, the fact that bike is $13,500 to start with, just I don't see how they can compete for new bike riders. So yeah, I think it will. And again, it's also going to depend on location. Like right now, for me, even in the city of Rochester, I live in, the Navy's fun to ride, but it's not enough. It's not enough for me. I need something bigger. But I had somebody who lives in like New York City, Hudson Valley area, say on my most recent video that that's his perfect commuter bike, because that's what I said in my initial thoughts. Is if you live in a big city, like New York City, Boston, whatever, it's a great little bike because you could maneuver it anywhere. You don't have to worry about parking and all that. So. That's my thoughts.
Right,
That's what she said, by the way.
What?
Say that again.
You said it's just not big enough. I said that's what she said, by the way.
Yeah. I don't see myself ever owning an electric bike, but I don't know. I could see. I don't know. Look at the economy. You know, how far is gas prices going to go? I don't know. I cringe every time I see it, but who knows? I mean, I'm sure people are out there buying cheap cars, you know, 4 cylinders, a little Civic, a little Corolla, you know, just to save gas. Why not buy a motorcycle? And in some you live in the city, it'd be great, right? You know, avoid a lot of the traffic, you know, splitting the lanes, you know, I won't use Harley as an example because it's a $30,000 bike, right? But there's other manufacturers like Zero. You can get a $10,000 bike from Zero, and that, I mean, again, I don't see myself ever buying one, but I understand the concept of why in the situation that we are in today. And then people might not like loud motorcycles. I don't know. Maybe, you know, somehow save money on gas and don't want it to be loud, and I don't know, but
Karen bike.
It's there you go. You can paint it all different colors. I don't know. I mean, I think there's probably a possibility for it, but for me personally, absolutely not. That's just not my thing. It'd be cool to ride, but it's like, oh, I'm done with this after 30 minutes. This is cool. Bye. So that's just my 2 cents.
Hey, Toby, your question.
So before I start or say anything, live chat, what do y'all think? Electric bikes, yes, no, way of the future? Do you think it's happening? What? You think federal government is pushing it? Electrical bikes, all that kind of stuff, electrical vehicles? But I'll tell you this. It kind of goes with what Derek was saying. At this point in time, it's not for the market of our ages and above.
Mm-hmm.
It's demographically based, and it's, you know, those who think they're socially, you know, environmentally minded, because they're coming out with the next live wire soon. That'll be this month, I think. I think it's late this week actually that they're doing the live wire 2 or generation 2 or gen 2, whatever it's called.
Okay.
But I do think there's a market for it. I don't think, at least not in any of our lifetimes, I don't think they're going to ever go away with the you know, V-twin combustion engine. I don't think it's going to happen. yeah, there's a market for it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be producing the bikes. The
Mhm.
government is making the emissions and all that kind of stuff. They're, it's trying to squeeze the noose around the neck so they, lean towards that way. They're even Ford and Dodge and the rest of them are coming out with all electric bikes or all electric trucks. So if the big trucks are coming out with all fully electric, the bikes are going to grow. That demographic, that market is going to grow. It's going to come down to, like what Derek said, was the price. But I also, like Randy said with the gas thing, I think it's again, I still think this is going to be when we're all 70, 80 years of age and we're on trikes, or we just said, the hell with it, I'm not doing it no more. Where they reestablish the baseline, if you will, the price baselines and the fuel and all that kind of crap comes around. And, you can make a choice. You can go to the museum and buy your bike, or you can go to the car dealer and buy your bike under warranty, something like that. So I do think there's a market for them. I think the government is, and that's going to depend upon which government is in charge too. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just saying, I think that there's a market.
Don't trust any of them.
Well, yeah. And that's why I said, and Randy said this. Would I buy one used? Yes, I would. I don't think I'd buy one brand new, and I would probably get one just for checking it out, having a little zip around the neighborhood or down the street or up to work or something like that. That where my wife's not going with me, just something I can have fun on, stuff like that. But it ain't going to be something I'm going to be spending a lot of money on to put a Screaming Eagle engine or any of that kind of crap into it, S&S motors or anything like that. So, or the electric version of those.
Yeah.
Actually,
there'll be a Screaming Eagle motor switch, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Quick question: Has anybody here ridden an electric bike motorcycle before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scared.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You did the live wire.
Yeah, I demoed the live wire. It's like I said, it's a fun ass bike.
Well, see, that's what I think. Yeah, I mean, Randy brought it up. The Zero. We actually have a dealership that's kind of like halfway between CDL and I that sells them. I went out there last year, early last spring, like April, I think it was, before obviously the accident. Rode my lowrider S out there, and that 10-minute test ride I had on that bike was some of the most fun I've ever had on a motorcycle. So
Agreed.
I mean, that instant torque is just phenomenal. But like Randy said, I mean, it's a $10,000 bike, and the distance between that dealership and my house, I would have to trailer the bike home because it doesn't have enough range to make it. So until they bump up the range or they work on something with charging technology where you could put like a film over the tank where sunlight will just constantly keep it charged, I can't justify it. I mean, I'm interested to try it out more, but I just.
Well, that goes back to what I said a second ago. I mean, in my opinion only, it's like, how new are they? They came out, what, 19, 20? Like right in the middle of COVID? So
Zero's been out for a little bit longer than that, but
well, I'm talking about the Harley, the live wire.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There have been other electric bikes before the Harley, for sure. And I'm just saying, if you can find them used, absolutely. Will I buy one off a dealership showroom floor? I don't ever plan to. I never say never because you never know what's going to happen, but I don't plan on ever buying one off the showroom floor. Somebody will want to get rid of one 5-6 years from now, maybe, and they're tired of messing with it or whatever. They moved on to a different
$5,000 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, something you can buy. Hell, look at the way TVs and electronics in general work, right? I mean, they're eventually going to follow that same trend, I think.
Mm.
We'll have them at Walmart.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
If I can buy it on eBay, I might get it.
Which is the purpose of the Navi.
I was going to say, I hear they're starting to sell the Navi in Sam's Club.
Are they really?
No.
No,
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
The look on your face.
But no, that is the purpose of the Navi. I mean, you think about it, the government is, and I shouldn't say the government, they're working entrance drug just like a drug dealer does. Bird scooters, you see them, or these little electric scooters, you see them on every corner. 5 years ago, you wouldn't put your kid on a bicycle without elbow pads and a helmet. Now you go up, you swipe your card, you hop on this scooter, and you ride down through there. No big deal.
You're right.
Well, that's an entrance
Segway?
drug to the Navi.
You're gonna get me off
You
on
ride
a
the,
tangent with
you
that
know, you
comment.
enjoy riding around on that bird scooter. You get your little Navi or a little monkey or one of them
Helmet,
other
elbow,
little,
knee
you know,
pads for a
toy
bean
bikes
buster.
they got going. You ride to them. After that point, you either find out it's dangerous and jump off and you're out and you're away from motorcycles, or you're hooked and you end up eventually in the same place we're all in. It is a feeder network. But is it a feeder network in the electric? Is it a feeder network in? I don't know. I'm not going to be around for that. So, like Toby said, what happened to me? You know, yeah. If I find one on eBay for cheap, I might do it just to do it because we're hooked. We got this drug. We gotta keep feeding ourselves. But that's what I see the Navi and the electric bikes as right now. Eventually, will they be mainstream? Probably. I don't think we're going to feed that. Just like we're not feeding the market now. What is it? More than half of us are bag daddies. You know, we're bagger bros. We're whatever title you want to put on us. We're the old guys that's complaining that Harley ain't supposed to be liquid cooled. Harley ain't supposed to be red. It's supposed to be black. You know, I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
You can have any color as long as it's black.
Right. You can have any color Harley you want as long as it's black. The way God meant the Harleys to be. So, Sinister Randy, I totally see you riding a pink bike. That would not surprise me a bit.
I would do it
You
for a
could
video.
pull it
I
off
don't care.
too.
Probably because I don't care.
That he got from Santa Cruz.
Goofy makes a good point about the batteries.
Yeah, and I was going to hit on that too, and I will tell you this. I agree with you, Goofy Bass. It's a great point. I will say this though: if I go and buy an electric bike used at a Sam's Club or CVS stores, or or from a Craigslist ad or whatever, if I buy it for even half the cost of the price of it on the showroom floor, if I got to buy a new battery for it, I'm already ahead. So,
fair enough.
Now, here's my thing on the batteries. I'm a forklift mechanic. I work with industrial batteries daily. A good industrial battery, and the way you're supposed to do it is you have one battery in the forklift, you have one battery on charge, one battery cooling. Mm-hmm. But using that type of cycle, maximum age is 10 years. You can, if you're just using it, charging it, using it, charging it, you can expect 5-7 max. Now, how soon before you got to replace those batteries on that? Those live wire now or free wire now, or or the Zero.
Jace, do you know? I mean, I don't know if the Harley bike the battery can be removed. Can it? It's ginormous, isn't it?
Yes.
Can it be taken out?
When it dies, you got to get a new bike.
Well, I don't know.
It might be a technician that has to actually take it out. I don't know. I've never dove in that deeply into it. Didn't care.
And see, that's something I do want to look into, because who was it? GM come up with one where the hybrid, the battery's in the frame.
Yeah.
So in 7 years, you got to get a new frame.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's one of those that maybe you're thinking of that. Maybe that's one maybe you're thinking the one I am is, I don't know if it's GM, whoever it was, but they put the battery, it's like either under.
That's Tesla. That's what Tesla does.
It's under the freaking, like the cab and up behind the cab a little bit. So actually the trunk is now kind of a storage spot or whatever, what used to be the engine. But I haven't done enough, research because I'm not in the market for buying one. But yeah, like you say, that's a very interesting. Thanks, Goofy. You bring up a very good topic about that with the battery, and Jason expanded on it. Can it be removed? Can it be replaced out in your garage? Can that be done through self-maintenance? Is that in the military we used to say that's operator level maintenance? Is that operator level maintenance, or is that something that you got to call the light wheel vehicle mechanic to get his ass in there for?
And if it is operator level maintenance, disposal. You got to get rid of the battery you took out.
And will there be dummy plates?
Will there be what?
A dummy plate.
What's that?
That's a plate that the Army or military bolts to every piece of equipment with the instructions on how to run it.
I was gonna say, I never looked at those when I was in. I just
If you pay attention in the class, you ain't got to read them, but whatever.
right. Yeah. No, if mine ever died, if I had that kind of bike, I would just drop it off at Batteries Plus.
Right? Be back in an hour.
Yeah, right. So CDL, what is your opinion?
What's the
An
question?
hour later.
Right?
I mean, I like the idea of getting more people into riding. I think the introductory bikes with electric and small displacement are probably good. You don't want somebody jumping on a $30,000 bike right off the bat. You know, like I said, if they don't like it, they just get rid of it in a year or two. I mean, you go on Facebook Marketplace, you go on eBay. Oh, I've had it for a year. I got 5 miles on it. You know, they just give up on it. So I think it's a good way to start off. I think the classes should have more bikes of that size. I know when I took my class, most of the bikes were no bigger than a 250. Half of them were 125s. You don't see a lot of 125 normal size bikes anymore. Like you don't see like the Suzuki Intruder 125 or something like that. I mean, really, they've been making electric bikes since people were little kids. They had those ones you tool around the yard in, you know. And I know Polaris Victory tried to do an electric bike like, was it 15 years ago? And it just didn't take off. I'm like, it was just like a sport bike, but it was an electric bike. It was like one of the first big electric bikes. I think it was the Pulse or something like that, Victory Pulse, or it was like late 90s, early 2000s, and it never took off. And, you know, everybody's trying it now, and it's still, I think it's going to be California and New York State are probably going to be the first two to really see big numbers in electric bikes just because they're going to force it on everybody. They're already doing it.
Not to go to California or New York.
Yeah. New York's already going to be forcing that on everybody as of what, 2035?
I think so, yeah, 2035.
Matter of fact, the school districts are going to be, I think New York State's forcing the school districts to go to electric buses.
Yeah,
within the next 5 years.
We've already got 2 school districts. I just heard on the radio on Friday. We've got 2 school districts that are going to be trialing them for next school year starting in September.
In a small area, that'll work.
Yeah.
Right.
I got 4 miles to the closest gas station.
Yeah.
Gives me a reason to ride to New York and just rev at about 3,500 RPM all the way through no matter what gear I'm in.
All right. Yep. But yeah, that's
where did this lap go? Oh my God.
We got pink underwear going on here.
Oh my
God. That's the after show.
The last comment.
Pull up your pink panties and let's get this
That's the after show. Join us in the green room.
Yeah. Our OnlyFans live stream will be right after this. Just pay $19.95. We'll give you 20 minutes.
Hashtag pink panties.
But yeah, that's all I got to say about the electric stuff and the smaller bikes, I guess.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go on to more of like a YouTube thing, I guess. If people stopped watching certain content on your channel, would you quit making it?
If by certain content, like let's say, you mean like certain subjects, probably. Depending. I mean, I make videos for me. I've always said that. I always do it. As long as it remains fun, I will do it. Once it stops being fun, once it starts feeling like work, I'm out. That being said, I used to do those Wellness Wednesdays. I think the best one has like 40-something views on it. So I'm not saying they can't. I mean, I did them. I think they're good videos. I think they're good educational wise. I think, somebody can get some, use out of them. But obviously they didn't hit. So I kind of really haven't, of course, I haven't really made a whole lot of anything up until very recently when we got the Navi. But as far as if you want to go big, what do you call it? Big picture. I don't think I would ever quit. As I said before, as long as it still remains fun to me, as long as I enjoy it. I mean, we're all human. We want interaction. We want to, we want to look at our YouTube app on our phone and see that, we had a new subscriber added. We want to see that our newest video, got 5 extra views than we expected it to. Like, I mean, literally when I put out my my first ride back Navy one, I'm like, if I get 100 views on this, I will be like over the moon. And like right now, I think I'm over 200 on it. So I'm just like, that's great. No, the Navy does not have a name yet, Jason. That is Kristen's bike. She will name that bad boy or bad girl. That's her bike. So
that's why I went that way.
Yep. Well, you know what? Maybe if we don't have it by then, maybe we can corner her at VAM and make her, because she's like, I need to come up with a name. And I'm like, hey, that's your bike. You have to name it. So maybe we'll corner her at VAM and make her make a decision if she doesn't have one before then. That being said, the Navy will not be coming with us for VAM. We're going to be bikeless, unfortunately, but we feel it's important for us to be there, so we will be there. So, long story short, no, I will not stop doing YouTube unless it doesn't remain fun. I will make videos that I feel are good to be out there. If they don't do super hot, I might curtail it a little bit because, as well know, time is money. But at the same time, I none of my videos are just, I think maybe 3 or 4 of my videos have ever been just like a turn on the camera and just verbal puke. Everything's been planned out in my head well beforehand.
That's how I roll.
Well beforehand. I'm a planner. That's how I've always been. I'm not smarter than everybody. I just work twice as hard. So I have to. I would never quit just to quit. If I don't, if people don't like my shit, they don't like my shit. It is what it is. But so on to you, Randy.
Stop making a video that people don't want to see. No.
Yeah, come on, verbal puke, Randy.
It's my channel. Verbal puke. No, I mean, if there's something that I'm doing that I enjoy doing, and that's why I'm showing it, it's a memory. It's a point in time. I can look back at it 10 years from now or whenever, and will I balance things out and give videos that I think people will like, that what's more popular, so to speak, then yeah, I'll do that. But like, I think a lot of people get tired of all the motovlog videos because you start talking about a topic. I don't get a lot of views with that. If I do something with an install or review, or go to a rally, or go to something historic that people may not be able to get out and see because, they're older and they can't get out or whatever. If they don't like certain things like that, and I'll still do it because it's something I enjoy. I have hobbies that I match in with my motorcycling. I like to fish and outdoor stuff. I'm not going to stop doing that because I enjoy it. And other people, there's at least one person out there that likes the same things you do.
Exactly.
And so, no, absolutely not. If that doesn't get a lot of views, I can get a lot of views off something else. I don't know if you guys have seen this, and I think we kind of talked about it, is like, you may do a video and it just bombs, but like 6 months later, it just like people start watching it, and like, well, then they just started searching something about it. Something sparked interest and sparked somebody else's interest, or maybe there was a video that came up and it was popular, and then YouTube's like, oh, well, I got a video over here that could have been your video that's similar to that video. Won't you watch it? And that's kind of how it sparks. And so
evergreen content. Yeah,
I say just keep doing what you want to do and what makes you happy. If you don't like doing it, I don't do it. Don't do it, necessarily unless just to be doing it. Just do it. If you enjoy doing it, just do it. It's like I said, it's your channel. It's my channel. I'm just going to do what I want to do, and do what makes you happy.
Hey, Toby, it's your verbal puke.
Sorry. No, it's a combination of what Derek and Randy both said, because same concept. I barely watch algorithms. I look at like views on my videos occasionally and just see how they're doing. As Randy, I'm doing this to have fun, right?
Exactly.
The DIY videos, I'm working on an install video right now, and when I do them, I can say that's more not just for me. That's to help anybody else who might have the same headlight and have the same problems. Because I've watched others have been like, I wish they'd have done this, or wish they'd have shown this, or what. It's not their problem. It's not their responsibility. It's they're showing what they're used to doing, and so I try to show what I think might help that I saw. Having said that, at the same time, it's like I also will look at views of those videos that I've done, and if they're not getting a lot of traction, then knowing the work that goes into them, I may not do them as much, or because we all know a lot of times, DIY videos are watched a lot. I've got a couple ones that I've got are some of the higher watched ones I have, but the click-through rate, if not to get into all that technical stuff, is not strong because everybody stops once they've seen what it is they need to answer their question.
Right.
So
and they're gone.
Yeah. So having said that, like you guys said, I do them for me. I try to think of topics that I come up with that are interesting to me. The one I'm editing right now is one that is a subtopic off of one that Big Smitty talked about a couple months back, and well, I don't care how it hits. I'll be riding. I got a great ride out of it. I was riding with my wife, and we had a great time. And if it bombs, it bombs. I don't give a crap. It's like Sonny even said that people have said they don't monetize some videos. They'll walk through a street, walk downtown Sturgis or Daytona or whatever, because it's like Randy said, they're sharing something. Somebody might go on and look online to see. Before they plan a ride to go somewhere, they might just want to see some visions of what it's going to look like.
Right.
Or it might be something they're never going to get the chance to see.
Right.
So I don't do it for, a particular market content not being popular anymore or whatever, because trends change. Trends come and go. If it ever hits a lot, if it does, it doesn't. I don't care.
Same way. I have no idea. I have the YouTube app on my phone to see if I missed anybody's comment. That's it. I don't watch the analytics. For a short period, I did the search on the, what you're going to title your video, if it has good hit or it doesn't have a good. You know what? I ain't got time for that. Yeah. I do the videos. I throw them out there. The one I just did not too long ago. You didn't know death version. That's about the only one since I've started that I debated on should I do it or not, because it is on death. Is that going? People going to say, "Oh, that's morbid," or you know what? It come to the point I'm like, this is interesting facts. That's what You Didn't Know is all about, is interesting facts. Click off.
But it's the subject you want to watch, the one that you want to talk about, period.
I don't watch the numbers. I do it because back when I started, we had some friends that we done 10 years in a row going to Rolling Thunder, DC. She had cancer. He had back surgery. They couldn't go. I threw a camera on the bike so they could go. That's why I do it. That's awesome. So they could go. Did a trip my wife couldn't go on. That's why the camera's on it, for the wife to see it. I ran out of space of where to put these videos, and the wife said, make a YouTube channel. So I made a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is for storage. I love the comments. I love the feedback. I love all that. I wait for a video to go out just so I can see who makes a comment about what, and I can comment back to them. That's what I'm here for, to talking to somebody. So if it doesn't do good, I don't know. It's still there. Sorry.
You get a comment.
Only thing I care about is getting Doyle to stop copying all my videos.
Let me see. Well, I like to do certain videos that I know aren't going to do well, just because it's a memory. Like, you're going to always remember that you did something. obviously, if it's a Sturgis related video or a big rally type of video, you know you're going to get the views either way. I can't say I would quit making them. It gets frustrating though if you make a video and then just nobody even comments, or you just get the comment of that's it. I want a comment that I can kind of interact with. Like informative videos are great because people are like, oh, I'm glad you did that, or if I forgot to do something in the video, they'll say, hey, how did you do this, or what site? I've gotten better about mentioning what tools I'm using first in the video if I do an install. I can't say I'd ever quit.
Find the one, was it Samantha Burton that gives you the thumbs down?
Oh,
she
God.
didn't do the video I asked for?
Yeah, I blocked her years ago. She's better. She, whatever, has been around for years. So I blocked her right away. Because she was asking people to try out different types of jeans and tighter pants and no shirt on. And I'm like, no.
And you bring up a good point there, Chris, with, I don't know. To be honest, to tell you the truth, I don't, when I watch somebody's videos, I don't really look at somebody's subscriber count. I mean, we had that question a while back, I think a year ago, maybe season 1 or something like that. But have you noticed any changes as far as what you can see more of being monetized than before you were monetized?
Not really. I mean, you still see the same analytics. You just see how much money you make per country and per day, per video, what kind of content. Like some content will say, oh, we can only partially monetize this for whatever reason. And other than that, all the analytics are pretty much the same.
And see, I think that would also, that drives a question for us for the rest of us, because Randy spoke of fishing stuff and all that, camping videos and stuff. If it turned out where once you're monetized, you got hit with something that says, hey, this can't be monetized, or this part right here is going to get a copyright strike, and these are just in theory, would that affect you creating those same videos? Would you tweak them, or would you just say, fuck it, I'm having fun, I'm going to create what I want to create?
Create what I want to create.
Okay. That's why, it's, it makes me think of like HDR when he was talking about, and I know I hate to bring it up for, top left there person, Chris, but I just, regardless of that, it's just he, because of the medical situation he drove himself into, he talks about a year or so ago, whatever, when he was so worked up into the analytics or into, and I know people that can get caught up into that. There's a difference between, some people can argue there's a difference between tweaking your content for analytics versus what your subscribers want versus what you like to do versus, all that can be jumbled in together. At some point you can really get wrapped up in it too much. So that's why I asked that question, Randy.
I got you. Yeah, no, I'm not going to let something keep me from doing what I want to do. I mean, granted, I don't feel like I'm doing anything that's really affecting anything, but I mean, if it did, I enjoy doing it. If I didn't enjoy doing it, I wouldn't do it, but I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do. And I'd like to add more where I go hiking. I did it when I was out in Arkansas. I did it. I'd like to
definitely,
and I mean, because people can't get to certain areas and can't. That's one thing I brought up that I think is a good point. Is there's people can't walk these trails or can't go to certain places, and I want to show that and say, here's, you can't get there, but let me show it to you, to some stranger. And I've had people comment, that they're older gentlemen or older ladies saying, thank you for showing this because I can't travel like I used to. They're older or whatever reason it might be, but they always say thanks for showing this, and this is a beautiful area that otherwise I wouldn't be able to see it. So, and that sparks me to want to do it even more.
Go ahead, Chris.
There's been a few rides that I've done. I did my group ride in Pennsylvania a couple years ago, and I told everybody there's one section you do about a mile on dirt road to get down to the dam that we're going to see. And I said, if you're not comfortable, there's a spot you can wait up to the top till we're done. You can still see the dam from the road, but you can't do where you drive all the way down the dirt road to the bottom. There's a stop at the top of the dam where you can hike down behind it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like some people might never make it out to go do Needles Highway or, Sherhola or whatever, any of them. So that's what that'll be one of my things too. When I do the camera angle, I like the camera angle where it's got it centered on my helmet. It looks like you're the person doing the ride.
Sure.
You're on,
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like you're the one behind the bike now. It's not a video game, but it's almost like VR in a way. It's like the cheap VR, Walmart VR.
It's like OnlyFans VR, you know, when you look there, man.
Well, not only that, but Randy, you brought up an excellent point about people not being able to go to certain places and stuff like that. I mean, and I know that this doesn't affect you and Toby as much, but for CDL, myself, and McStash, I mean, we can't ride. Well, McStash rides year round, but we can't, feasibly ride year round. So there's that, and honestly, I don't want every single one of my videos to be a moto vlog. I want to do other things. I mean, especially how I'm limited now with the Navi. I mean, there's only certain streets I can take that bike on, and it's the same ones. And we've had the bike out riding for a month, and I'm already ready to move on.
Yeah.
So.
No, you'll see. So it's a video that, like I said, one I'm editing right now. I'm sure you all do the same thing. If you go on a long ride or anything longer than say 30 minutes or so, if you can and you think of it, you'll cover more than one topic on a ride that you can.
Oh yeah.
And so I did a different view on this one I'm editing. I switched it from a front view to a side helmet view, and I will cut out the parts that we're specifically talking about that side helmet view, and I'll make a separate thing on that.
Yeah.
But for those that haven't, it makes a world of it really does actually make a big difference versus mounting here versus mounting up on the side of the helmet. If you haven't done that, it does. I've already switched it back, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, when I used to go out on the lowrider S, I'd have my battery bank with me in my jacket pocket. And I'd have a fresh memory card in the GoPro, and I would typically try to bank like 3 to 4 videos on that ride.
Yeah,
3 to 4 10 to 15 minute videos.
So I didn't know that, Mr. O. I didn't know. I don't know where he is right now.
Yeah. Could go on to our next question, I guess. It's kind of our last question for the season, but. I don't know if McStash disappeared to take something. Hopefully not take something off. I know he was spending a lot.
Hey, he's not the military biker, man. If you guys have watched that, he'll do that. He'll leave the scene to come out, change shirts or change onesies or change hats and come back. It's an awesome time to be part of that.
We'll go ahead and do our final question, and then we'll have our chat.
He might take it, Gary.
Yeah. But,
HGAV Traveler, that's a great comment.
Is that also a first-person view, HG Traveler?
Probably looking for Doyle.
Oh God! He's probably looking for a Doyle.
Yeah, taking a Doyle.
You said it, Randy, not me.
Batman's gonna be so much fun, man. Randy, are you sure you can't make it?
Hey, real quick before Chris goes on with the final question, before we do that, put in the live chat if you're going to VAM 22 or not.
There he is.
Oh,
he looks about 10 pounds lighter.
I got to put that link in the comments again, too.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It's my dad, anyhow. Whatever. Same thing, though. Right idea.
Randy mentioned you might be, or somebody said you might be going to take a Doyle.
No, my dad was taking a Doyle. When you care
Don't tell me you pulled a Friday episode. You went to the bathroom. Boy, get in here. I smelled your shit for 22 years. You can smell my shit for 5 minutes and you're in there. What do you want?
I don't know. I think my dad's I don't know, whatever you break down, and I think he's breaking down from the inside out. Because man, he can tear up a bathroom.
Paint spilling off the walls.
Yes. Oh goodness, yeah. Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Chris just shared the Facebook event page for VAM 22. Y'all in the live chat. Let us know if you're going, and put in the live chat whether you're going to VAM 22 in Tazewell, Virginia, or not. It's in July.
Yeah, the goodie bags that will be given out have a T-shirt of, you tell us what size, they'll throw you a T-shirt in there. I guess it's got maps of the area, and I think there might be some coupons for local places and stuff like that. But yeah, there's going to be like a little goodie bag. But the price of the goodie bag is just basically to cover the T-shirt. It's not, nobody's making. There will be some type of charity. I don't know what they've decided yet, but if there is any run over money, if there is any, extra money, it will be given to some charity. Nobody's going to put it in their pocket. Nobody's going to,
Taking it, you don't want to know.
huh?
CDL put down in the stream the ticker at the bottom. It said hashtag taking it, you don't want to know.
No, I missed that.
Yeah, I put it up for you again.
Taking a Doyle.
Thinking of you don't want to know.
There you go.
Now we lost Toby.
No, he's here.
He's back.
He was
Hey,
he was making waffles.
Yeah.
You got to flex just right to make waffles.
What's that?
No, we haven't done.
Did you already ask the question? Is it my turn already?
No.
Okay.
No.
Wait, we got another question?
Yeah, we got one last question.
Oh, okay.
Have to take your do not want to knows before the final scene.
There's Larry.
Oh my God, Paul.
Hey, Larry.
I haven't heard that phrase in a long time.
No, the reason why I said waffles is because when you paused your video, it had a picture of Donkey from Shrek, and he has that line in the movie. In the morning, we make him waffles.
Yep. No, it's funny because the reason why I put Donkey up there is because a year and a half ago, I guess it was like one of the first live streams I jumped in on, and it was with the military biker. And I swear to God, that dude makes me think of Donkey and Shrek sometimes because of the way he talks. But we were on live stream. I can't remember who said it, but we were joking about Donkey and Shrek at some point. And so I just made that the, off screen or turn camera off picture. And it's just, I've never changed it since. So.
All right. We got a couple different people in here. But yeah, we're on the final question. What are your summer plans? I guess it's motorcycle related or not?
So as most of you know, I start school tomorrow, so that's going to take up a decent chunk of my time. That being said, Kristen and I both will be attending VAM this year. Sans bike. The very next weekend, we will be heading back out to McStash's neck of the woods. Kristen's going to be taking the 4-day-long MSF course at Farrell Harley Davidson. It's women only. It's taught by women, and it's limited to 12 riders. So we're thinking that's going to be really good for her. Other than that, just getting out and riding as much as I can. I've been waffling back and forth about getting another bike.
Waffles.
Yeah, right. I'm really, I don't know. I'm torn. I'm really torn. Part of me wants to just get something for the sake of getting something, but then the other part of me is like, just wait and do it right. So we'll see. I don't know. Obviously, y'all find out. But so yeah, VAM heading to Ohio school, and I guess we'll see if anything else comes up.
Hey, Sinister, your question.
I will not be making it to VAM because I'll be out on vacation out west. I'll be heading back to South Dakota for a little bit, and then out to Cody, Wyoming, and then St. Mary, Montana. Kind of been in touch with the military biker. Hopefully I can meet him while I'm out there. And then kind of head back and just kind of explore, do the Beartooth Highway. I'm going to ride that. Chief Joseph Highway. See Yellowstone, stuff like that. Glacier National Park. And then
before you go in Yellowstone, ask them if they got the road finished, because we paid like $30 a bike or something to get in there, and was riding on dirt and gravel.
Which one? Which northeast? I'm coming in.
Honestly, I can't answer that.
Or excuse me, northwest.
Is it a national or federal park?
National.
Get in free.
Well, that's not true.
You do, Jason.
Oh wait, yeah. I don't know why I think he's.
I had to pay for one of those park passes. It's like $80, and then if you're going to Glacier, they got the Going to the Sun Road, and you get charged like $2 to ride that. That even though you got the pass, it don't matter. But other than that, I was going to do Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue again, but they changed the dates, and I was like, I'll just keep my dates, and I'll ride a little bit in Arkansas a little bit before I head down to Oklahoma. I'm going to stay in Moyer for a week. I'm going to go to Stubborn American Rally, probably ride the Talamina Highway while I'm down there. That's a road I have not rode yet. Other than that, I've been thinking about probably going to some of these small rallies. I know Drew was on. There's a rally next month in Charleston, West Virginia. I was thinking about maybe doing that. It's a 3-day weekend. Other than that, just what I normally do, spend time with my son. We go kayaking, we go fishing, stuff like that. Do a lot of outdoor stuff. Hoping to take him to a concert, but other than that, that's pretty much it.
Hey, Toby, your question.
Yeah, Ray, that's a good point. Summer's, it's funny how we say, what are our summer plans? It's what you can squeeze into the summer vacations for the kids, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise it's flexible. You try to be, especially with the kids, spontaneity can help them not just to have the quality time with you, but it's also helping them be spontaneous, mentally learning how they can, hey, let's go camping this weekend. Oh, well, okay, cool. But yeah, we're doing, as I already said, we're doing VAM. We're kind of not really in summer already, but we were going to do the Great Plains meetup this weekend that just took place up in Lincoln, Nebraska. But Kylie invested in her long term, and she did her graduation ceremony yesterday and got her bachelor's degree in accounting. So that's done with, and she's happy about that. And so that took priority. We're doing VAM, and then we're going to do the 530 Biker Moto meetup. They are literally 1 weekend apart from the other. As I said, we have no majorly large or long trips like Sturgis or anything like that this summer. We're looking at possibly Run to the Hills, which is in Knoxville next month, 9th, 10th, 11th of June or something like that. But yeah, that's really all. We don't have anything planned for the fall. Like Derek said, actually, I've already been lovingly told, hey, somebody had to walk across the stage yesterday, and so they want to see me walk across the stage also. So I'll be probably starting school back again in the fall to finish the final classes for my master's. So that's something to, But Chris, after everybody's answered their questions, I got a quick plug.
Okay.
And it's not a Doyle.
All right.
It's either a Doyle or what is the helmet?
Ruach.
Yeah. It's either Doyle or Rock.
They don't do those anymore though. On the 4.0.
This summer plans, our big summer plans.
The plugs.
Our big summer plans, we're going to Hawaii. I'm taking the daughter and the grandbaby, and we're going to Hawaii. My father-in-law was stationed in Hawaii. I was stationed in Hawaii. My wife is dying to go see the place. I'm going to rent, if nothing else, a scooter while I'm down there because I've been there. It's not really worth having anything much over a 500 cc. So I will probably get a scooter, but either way, it'll be scratched off my map for riding Hawaii.
Are you going to film
we'll
that?
come back from that, and
You gonna ride there?
after? Huh?
I said, you going to ride there?
No, I'm gonna ride while I'm there.
No, I know.
My tires won't make it all the way there. I don't have enough tread.
You can't even get to Pennsylvania on your tires.
None of the water
Right,
place with the
right.
threads.
Take a boat trip.
Then when we get back from that, we're going to head down to VAM and do that. In between there is opened up. We don't know what all's going on yet there's a lot of industrial development going on in our area. So we have put our property on the market. Depending on what happens there. So, but September is still on for the roadside distraction tour. Me and UCM Pigs will be doing that, and we're bringing that goofy, funny talking dude along with us because he likes to copy everybody's channel. So, but
Such hateration.
other than that, I think that's the only big ones we got. The big 10-day ride in September with the roadside distraction tour. We're going to do all the roadside attractions we can find.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be there for VAM, when are you leaving for Hawaii? That's got to be coming up, right? In the next few weeks. Next month, maybe?
We'll be in Hawaii for the 4th of July. So we're leaving right at the end of June.
Nice.
6 weeks, I think we are. So
Nice.
I will be able to get down there and do the Pearl Harbor Memorial with the fireworks.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a few things going on this summer. No big plans. I don't see me doing any big week-long rallies or anything like that in the near future. I'm kind of keeping everything short and cheap, and kids are getting ready. Yeah, kids are getting ready to graduate in a few years, so we got to get them out of here into college. And of course, I'm always working on household projects. We've been trying to hunt down a small pop-up or older camper. That's not really panning out. Everything's either been shit or want way too much for it, or it's been a fake post on Facebook that they posted in multiple cities. But so far this year pretty much is the big year for concerts. All the concerts are coming back. So my wife and I have been going to quite a few concerts, and we went to wrestling a couple weeks ago. I know the big concert for me is going to be Metallica in Buffalo. That's going to be right. That's going to be right in between VAM and me going to Wisconsin for my daughter's triathlon. I plan on riding the bike out there for both of those. Metallica, we haven't found a hotel yet because they jacked the prices up for that day.
Yeah,
Of course.
Like really bad. Like a $50 hotel wants $300 for just that night.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still trying to figure that out, but I'm kind of hoping there's going to be some more stuff in the fall this year. By the end of summer, get everything caught up.
For like trying to price gouge. I mean, that's
They don't care. It's New York State. They'd rather come after me for my loud mufflers in the parking lot of that $300 hotel.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to stay up there in Buffalo anyway. I want to get away from the city after the shit's going on yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard about that at all down there, but there was a shooting at one of the grocery stores up there.
Yeah.
The kid took a 200-mile drive up to the grocery store, Tops Markets, and he shot 13 people, and 10 of them died. Yeah, 10 of them end up dying. And there was a security guard with a gun that tried to shoot him, and they shoot him, and he was wearing body armor. So it didn't work. Yeah. So everything's gone to shit around here. Supposedly this kid threatened to have a shooting at his school too, and he was still out walking the streets.
While we were on this on this live stream, I just got a news notification saying he actually went to that supermarket beforehand or something to complain or something. Scattered out, who knows? But
yeah, and I've seen the reports too that it was racially motivated. I don't know.
Calling it a hate crime now.
Yeah, I don't know. I am not really in that deep to it. I just know it was another, to me, gun grab thing.
I have family
Almost
that lives in
sounds like
Buffalo.
Yeah.
So our big thing was we just texted, make sure they were okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sucky thing about it, I read one article was a mother, I guess you might have seen that. A mom actually said that the local police department, or no, somebody caught the shooting on camera on social media,
Yeah.
and they put it on social media, and that's how the mom found out about her daughter. She sent her daughter to the groceries to that store to get something, and she never came back home, and that's how she found out before the police had told anything because they haven't released any names yet.
Yeah. It's sad because it was a big city, but it still happens in small towns. Jamestown, New York's a small city, and it's not funny, but it's funny. Tops friendly markets, I seem to see more shootings at the friendly markets than I see at anything else. It's not funny, but it is in a way.
Yeah. No, they were.
Hey, I put a video out about death. All right.
Yeah.
About markets or about shootings or about New York?
No, I put a video out about death. It's funny.
New York is death. So.
Yeah. Death
Oh,
to
I
your
got
wallet.
you.
Yeah.
Death to your will to live.
Yeah. But that's all of our questions. I don't know if anybody else has got any more plugs or butt plugs or pillows with multiple purposes or
Blow up.
So I'll throw out a quick one here for those in the live chat and everybody in here. Also, it's been more cemented now. The Route 66 ride next summer, 2023. You got over a year to plan for. This is not going to be a world record poker run event of any kind, but it's going to be a hell of a ride. So what they're doing is, now that HD has announced their 120th anniversary rally, Rock plugs. It's July 13th, 14th, and 15th, or it might be the 4th. It's that weekend, the July 14th to 15th, I think, or 16th, whatever it is. You can look on a calendar of 2023. And what we're doing is we're backing off of that rally, the time it takes to travel, and we're going to go out to California, start at Route 66 and run it in reverse. We're going to do the plan is to do about 300 miles a day, so we're not having to haul ass between routes and stops and all that, and enjoy the entire trip, sightsee, whatever we want to do. But that's the part that we're cementing right now, is the stops each day. But that's the plan. Just so everybody knows, you can go on the supportbikers.com page if you're on the map or whatever, you're not on the map, and they've got a link on there for Route 66 ride for events. And that's the plan, is to start, and I think it's Santa Monica, California, where the Route 66 starts, and take it all the way up to Chicago, Illinois, 300 miles roughly a day. And we will finish on like the Sunday or a couple days before the rally kicks off, and then ride over from there to Milwaukee to the rally.
Yeah.
So, and it's bike brand regardless. That is, if I'll put it to you this way, the way that those of you who have met the Badgers or me or anybody, when your experiences of the news from the World Record Poker Run last year, this time, we don't give a crap what bike you ride. I don't care if it's Indian, Navi, Honda, Suzuki. It doesn't matter what it is. We are there to ride. So it's an experience. Some people will never, ever get the chance to ride Route 66 one way or the other. Yep. So open invitation. Just keep an eye on that link. And that's it.
Right. Yeah. I don't have anything else, I guess. I don't know if anybody else has anything going on you want to talk about before we end it till next year. This fall, whenever we decide to come back.
No,
last chance.
Only thing I want to say is, if anybody in the side chat, well, I'll leave him in there. I'm going to say other than Ozarks, because him and Randy, I don't know what they got going there. If follow our Instagrams, everybody's Instagram.
Yeah.
If you're in an area where we're in, or if we're in an area where you're at, hit somebody up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hang out. I actually, and I tease Ozarks because Dan and Brenda, is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But, dude, they are awesome people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They just
They
just
are.
Yeah.
and as you know, there's not too many people willing to put a motor between their legs and sit on the gas tank that aren't great people. So yeah, I mean, you see somebody in your area, or if you're going to be in somebody's area, you know, if you're coming through Ohio, any part of Ohio, it's 2 hours to one corner. You know,
Yeah.
let us know. If you're coming through Kentucky, it's a little tiny state.
Yeah.
Let one of these guys know, man. We'll do what we can to meet up. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that is my big goal over this next year with the distraction ride and all that. I want to meet as many people as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, just because that's the best part of this whole Instagram, YouTube, all this is I have met some really awesome people. So yeah, if anybody's coming to Ohio, if anybody's going to watch the Instagrams, if you see we're going to be in your area, let's hook up, people.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. I echo what Jason said. I tell you, it's anytime we go on the road anywhere, that's one of the things I've kind of gotten into my mindset ever since doing this is thinking about who lives up in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
I may not be geographically familiar with, say, Pennsylvania, right? But I will hit up those that I know that live in that state and say, hey, I don't know if you're available. I don't know if it's convenient for you, but I'm going to be going through X area and would love to meet you. I don't care if it's stopping for coffee or shaking a hand at the gas station for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm already on the road, so same
Right.
concept here. If you're in the town, if you're in the area nearby, even if you're with Old Spice, let me know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Old Spice, let us know. We need the money. But yeah, that's why I'm in northwestern Pennsylvania off Lake Erie. I'm between three big cities. I mean, Buffalo, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, if you're near Rochester, even if you're going to come down through this way. I mean, Route 90 goes right through my town. Big highway, 86 through southern part of New York State into Pennsylvania. If you're going to be in the area, even if you're stopping to get something to eat local, or 2 wheels, 4 wheels, unless you got a Polaris if you got a Polaris slingshot, keep going. Because I don't want to talk to you. But seriously, though, if anybody's going through the area, even if they're not planning on stopping here, just if you're going to be around, I've got 3-day weekends again this summer. I'm taking my time to do stuff I want to do. Yeah. But after, like I said, this whole year, we've done this whole live stream without Bubba, and a lot of the reason why I don't want to work as much is because I lost Bubba last year, and I lost a friend that lived across the street that was a rider. They were too young, unfortunately, great people. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't want to be one of those people, oh yeah, I got my front porch and all my work done in my house and then died the next day, great. I could have been out riding motorcycle or having a beer with somebody, or, I always enjoyed just having a beer sitting on the front porch with my neighbor, and he was gone. One day he's out there having a beer, next day he's gone. He's not there anymore. Bubba, Mr. McStash, and I met up with him for that dinner 2 or 3 weeks before he got sick and died. We were fortunate with that. Not to get too grim and talk about death on here, but it is, if you got the chance to do something, you got the chance to meet up with people, even if it's for 5 minutes to have a Pepsi or Coke or a beer or steak dinner or whatever.
Just to shake hands or something,
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Paul brings up a great point. I mean, you guys, if anybody, and I know there's 5, we have 10 watching now. So I've said this before, if you're going to be traveling through Elizabethtown, Kentucky area, hit me up, with enough, whether it's emergency style or, of advance warning, I've got room. So if it's I'm not going to be we're not going to be the bed and breakfast, all that kind of stuff of a regular hotel chain, but can be free lodging sometimes. So,
that's funny. Didn't have rooms when I come through there. I mean, he met me down at the dealership, but then he ran off and said, "Yeah, have a nice night."
I ain't gonna comment on that.
That's another thing too. Like with me trying to get a little pop-up camper, if somebody comes through the area and they want a place to stay, hey, park your bike next to the camper and hang out. I'll come out and have a beer with you, show you around the town or whatever. You know. Don't have the camper yet though, so stay tuned. We're gonna have a shed and breakfast.
I got a tarp.
Soon.
Shed and breakfast.
Yeah, I'll let you sleep next to my motorcycle in the shed. How's that?
There you go.
It's got a rubber mat down on the floor too. It's spoiled.
Hey, I'll push the bike out. You can sleep in the garage. You'll be all right.
But I say, if you're going through somebody's area, not just ours, anybody in the comments, leave your name, address, and social security number, and we'll be more than happy to hook you up.
There you go, Paul. Good words.
Right? He
I don't
says
know if
that,
they
but
don't-
I know
actually
that
fit
better
on
than
the screen?
anybody.
Some long comments today. There's a few comments I wanted to share, but I didn't think they'd fit on the screen. So, yeah.
Hey,
Some
garage
weird
camping, porch camping, it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta cover so you won't get wet for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Randy, I had
Yeah.
seen a bunch of them at one point, and then they kind of went out. Moto fishing videos where they hop on their bike with just whatever they could get on their bike fishing wise, whether it's an expandable pole or whatever. And they went fishing to see what they could catch.
Right. More people are doing it.
Yeah, that was pretty hot for a while. Shoot, some guy down there by Doyle was doing it. He says family all the time. I can see his face, but I can't think of his name now. But yeah, there was a couple of guys that were doing moto fishing videos.
I'm gonna do it.
Knuckles TV.
Oh,
yeah. Yep. I remember
he
him
did
doing
them
it
for a little bit.
I want to do it down in Stubborn America. I'm gonna fish in the river.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Might catch crabs down there.
You might.
From the river or from the campground?
You don't know what you'll get down there.
The
Hey,
answer
you're
is yes.
catching. You're catching.
Yeah.
That's the point of fishing, right? Is to catch stuff.
Yeah.
Again, if you catch that kind of stuff, I'd have to ask, what's your bait?
Cougar bait.
Yeah. Instead of YouTube master mechanic, you got a YouTube master baiter.
Yeah. There you go. I need a hat like that and film that. Hey, how's it going? Master baiter here.
Now we're getting back to pink mics and pink underwear. And
Doing unboxing on YouTube Masturbator.
There you go.
We haven't
Or is it
had the Portuguese
non-boxing?
Why does
snowblower.
that fish have a dildo in its mouth? I don't know.
There it is. There it is.
Didn't catch anything but a buzz out
Yeah.
there fishing this week.
Yeah, somebody asked me if I like fishing. I said, no, I don't like fishing. I like catching. It's like hunting. I don't like hunting. I like shooting.
Yeah.
So if something just crossed your path while you're shooting, that's just the plus,
Yeah.
right?
Just use a grenade.
Right?
Just throw a net out there and toss a grenade in the lake, and you're all set.
it's the old school way of doing it. Just drop a stick of dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bow and arrow with a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. We'll probably do the live stream again in the fall. I'm not sure when. It's hard because we like to have our writing seasons, and today was supposed to be crappy. It's kind of why I wanted to have it today, but then it never rained. So
Right.
we'll be having our discussions all through the summer, so figure out more things to talk about, I guess. In the fall, there's always stuff to talk about.
Hey, before he cuts it, everybody stay in the green room real quick after this.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. But I think, we'll be back in the fall. I can't promise a certain date, but
Wichita, Kansas. Oh, we're going to have to put that on the list for Roadside America. Master Bait is always on
Yeah,
hand.
M80s.
Yeah.
Road sign. I have to check that out.
It should say man
Yeah,
with hand in
maybe.
pocket
Yep, that's
feel
true.
cocky all day.
Yeah.
What is it?
Man with hand in pocket feel cocky all day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I thought it was man with hole in pocket. Whatever works.
Money shot.
Paul says use M80s cheaper than dynamite.
That's
The only
true.
problem, Paul, with using M80s to fish is when the game warden walks up and asks what you're doing, you're saying fish, and you light one and hand it to him, say you're going to fish or what. He's not as scared by an M80.
Fair enough.
All right, we're coming up on 2 hours. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Rest in peace, Bubba. It's been almost a year, about 10 months since he passed away. We made it through our season without him. Maybe in the fall we'll talk about adding a 6th again if we can find the chemistry to add another live streamer to the panel. But have a good summer, everybody. Bye for now.
Ride
See you in the
safe.
fall.
Stay shiny side up.
Shut up.
Keep watching everybody's channels. Peace.